Where is your team wasting human talent on things that a machine can do or a machine can cope with?
A lot of companies in our industry, they have websites, but it's an informative website, not a transformative website. And so,
If someone listening to that,
right,
that's a life-changing statement right there. AI is not going to replace people's jobs, but the people who are using AI effectively and efficiently, they will replace your jobs. All right. Hey, welcome back to the 3PX show. I'm
Yep.
Steve. This is Wayne. And
Woo-hoo.
Wayne and Steve talking about AI. Like,
Wow, there we go.
my dad used to have this saying, I don't even know if this word is real or not, but he used to say, who'da thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it?
Who'da thunk it? Steve and Wayne about to talk about AI. Who'da thunk it? But we're going to,
Hey, real quick while you're doing that,
Yeah.
this is funny little story here.
Does it involve a skunk?
No, it does not involve a skunk, but this does involve Allison. So we were at Satco down by Vanderbilt, and you go through and you label what you want. There's a taco place, man. They got great tacos and great wings, and then you put your name on it. And so Allison just put Al, but and so anyway, we're sitting there and everybody's got their food, and she's waiting for hers, and she keeps hearing somebody AI, and she finally realizes they're calling me Al. So she was up there, but it took her forever to get her food because she was just thinking AI. They were saying AI. So
It's
anyway,
like I don't know. I was having Key and Peele flashbacks of some Key and Peele skits. Or
that's
something.
too funny.
Yeah,
They could make something on that one.
yeah. They could. All right, here we go. Who'da thunk it? Stephen Wayne talking about AI, but here we are. Now, what we want to talk about AI from the standpoint of is like if you are a user for AI and your use doesn't go beyond asking ChatGPT or Copilot. I use Copilot, but there's a bunch out there, Claude and Gemini and Grok or something.
Yeah.
All those Perplexity, I think. I don't know if that's right or not, but there's a bunch of them out there. If that is the extent as a business person, an operator, a leader, if your extent of using AI is you're asking Copilot questions, you're way behind. Okay. So if your desire is to stay up with the times and keep moving with the industry, I can tell you right now, you're already way behind. So we're going to talk about some of that stuff today. But artificial intelligence is its operating leverage, and this is what I want people to know. I personally don't believe that AI is going to replace people's jobs. Okay. I hope this turns into a soundbite. AI is not going to replace people's jobs, but the people who are using AI effectively and efficiently, they will replace your jobs.
100%.
So
Yeah.
that's
you
Steve's
might have
take.
some sort of robotics here and there, but really, that's going to be the shift. There'll be a shift in how things get done over time. Just like when in the 90s, early 90s, when computers really started coming out, people thought that wave was going to replace people. It didn't replace them. It replaced jobs, but it put people in higher paying and it shifted technology and all that kind of stuff. So, and that's what we'll see here, especially over the next several years. You're just going to start seeing a shift of how we use it, because I don't think anybody really knows the whole extent of how it's going to use and how effective it will be, but it will be a shift.
Yeah, and what I am observing is that companies are still spending too much time trying to learn. They're reading articles, they're listening to podcasts, or they're watching videos, or they're like you've been doing that for a year. And in the AI world, in the technology world, a year is like 20 years in any other industry.
Because it's going so fast.
So it's one of those things where you need to learn, and then you need to be testing, trying, failing fast in a controlled environment. Now we're really starting to get into it, but you need to be testing, trying, failing fast in a controlled environment, because that's the only way you're going to be able to keep up with this technology, because eventually you're going to get run right out of town.
Yeah.
That's how powerful this stuff is. So we're going to talk about some of the things that we've done. We're going to talk about, deploying AI, where you can deploy AI in your business. And in particular for us, we do have the benefit that probably most of you don't have, in that we are operating in an industry that, for whatever reason, feels like they just refuse to utilize artificial intelligence. The commercial construction, the construction services industry, they may be talking about it, but there is no one that's using it. There's no one that's deployed it to a high degree. It's really still, for our industry, it's still at the state of owners and leaders are asking Copilot questions, and that's about the broadest level of adoption for AI in our industry that I have observed.
Well, just adapting to technology in general. There's still a lot of door companies out there that still use Excel and spreadsheets and things like that doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Which is,
And it's working for now.
and it's working for now, but, that was, back in the early 2000s, that you should have been working with that and making those transformations and those type of decisions and then adding technology. I mean, a lot of companies in our industry, they have websites, but it's an informative website, not a transformative website. And so where we have always
say that again.
What they have is they have an informative website and not a transformative website.
If someone listening to that,
right,
that's a life-changing statement right there.
It is.
Think about your website.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got a website now.
Everybody's
right?
got a website, yeah.
Is your website an informative website or is your website a transformative website?
And the only website we've ever built has always been transformative. That's something that we looked at and did. But, for us, we love the fact that everybody, if they want to be slow on it, that's fine. That just gives us an advantage. And at this point, we've had about a 15-year head start on a lot of people. And so not only are we have been transformative and really leading our industry and how we do it and the things that we do, but we're not only on the edge of AI, we have implemented AI tremendously within our business.
Yep.
With this new system, we've added a lot of new functions and things that it's pretty powerful.
So let's talk about one of those things. And somebody said, this was probably a year ago, somebody said, I think they challenged you. They're like, man, you guys tell all of your secrets, all the things you're doing on your podcast, right? I'm not afraid to talk about this one, even though I feel like it's not a secret. Like any podcast you listen to, or they're going to tell you to do what we've done. It just took us 2 years to do it. So even if you started doing what we're doing today, you're 2 years away. And that is, we built a knowledge base.
Yes.
An internal knowledge base. And here's why. Because one of the downfalls of artificial intelligence with regard to when you're asking questions, you're getting information, you're interacting with the system, is most of the time you are interacting with a system that is open to the entire world.
Right.
It's pulling information that may not necessarily be accurate, may not necessarily be trusted. It may deliver you information that is not on brand. It may deliver you information that doesn't align with your core values or core focus for your business. It may deliver you information that doesn't resonate with the type of customer you're trying to serve. And all of those things are major bogeys when you're a large business trying to navigate the waters of getting information fast and then moving that information fast to your people and then fast to your customers, right?
Yeah.
So in recognizing that, what we started to do was we literally built our own internal knowledge base. So we leverage a off-the-shelf AI tool, but all of the information, just about all the information you could ever want about doors, frames, and hardware, how to sell, where to get it, what the lead times are, what the prices are, does this go with that, how does our company operate, how do our systems work, how do you do this inside of our system? So our knowledge base is not just parts and product information. It's not just internal operating knowledge, like how do I go and do this process, but it also is how does your system work? How do I take a payment in the system? How do I do a refund in the system? How do I process an order in the system? So we took about 2 years and we compiled what at this point is probably thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands, of documents in the knowledge base. So we don't go to outside sources to seek information. We have that internal system already built so that the lesson here is the speed of getting knowledge to your employee or the speed of getting knowledge to your customer in our world now is not only instant, but it's just about perfect.
Right.
So that is one sort of use case.
And it's all about the investment that you make in it. Like you said, it took about 2 years, but what you
And
didn't
we're
say,
still building.
and we're still building.
We add on to it probably almost every day.
But it took us several $1 million to really build out what we did. So, and it's not an easy structure, but it it also aligns with where we can do what we're building inside. But it can even align with the equipment that we buy and how we do even operations. So there's so many things that it can do, that it can add, and the enhancements that we can do just makes it that much more powerful.
Yeah. And so if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, man, that sounds cool, I wouldn't even know where to start. If you have SOPs for your business, your SOPs are probably printed or they're in some type of a Word drive. The SOPs for your organization can go into a knowledge base. Now, how you structure the information in the knowledge base is important based on the tool that you're using, so that when you ask a question to the AI tool or when you're interacting with it, it has to be able to quickly go and find the information and then deliver you the correct answer. So you need people way smarter than me that understand how to structure that information inside the knowledge base. But start with your SOPs. And the reason why this is important is because you don't want to rely on legacy knowledge. Now, the industry that we're in order to be successful in the industry where we are in, if you don't have probably a collective 100 years of experience inside that business, whether it's 2 people with 50 years or 10 people all with 10 years, you can't survive in our industry.
Right.
So so when we recognized that, what we did was we documented all those SOPs, all that industry knowledge, and we put it into a knowledge base so that when a team member has a question about our industry, something that you would have to have worked in our industry for 10 or 15 years or longer just to know, that answer is already there. And when you ask it, you're going to get a good response, the right answer, as opposed to if you just go on Google, there's no telling what you're going to get.
Right. Exactly.
So if you're looking for a place to start there. You talk about shrink down your training time.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is you're not relying on legacy knowledge all the time.
Right.
That one person that's been in your business for 15 years, 20 years, they have to answer all the questions. They solve all the problems. They're the bottleneck for everything. You got to get that person's brain into this knowledge base where that information can be spread across your entire organization. If you hit stop on this podcast and you just did that one thing for your business and you focused on it, you could probably get it done faster than 2 years like what it took us, because we did that while we were building a whole brand new system. You could probably do this in 3 to 6 months. This alone would transform the way you get information out to your team members and out to your customers, period, hard stop.
Yeah.
That one thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's AI in your business today working for you.
But most businesses still are stuck in that mentality that all the knowledge is in 1 or 2 people's heads for that business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just digging it out. It took years to get it out of my head. A lot of things that I know that I just, in a sense, I take for granted, and I always took for granted that, oh, well, this is the answer to that. This is the answer to that. And we built a small system years and years ago that had a question and answer type of thing where we could just type it in. It wasn't using AI, but you could type it in, and you started typing, it would recognize what it was, and then it'd give an answer. It's one of those Ask Wayne type of things, and and it worked, but people didn't utilize it at that point.
That's
not like
That's what V. I mean, I still have Ask Wayne, the old Ask Wayne agent, but that's what V1 was.
It is, yeah.
It was Ask Wayne,
Because
and it was just FAQs.
That's all it was,
basically.
And I would just, people would ask the question, and then I would go in there and I'd answer it, and then I'd add documentation to that.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what they were doing is they were just pulling as much knowledge out of me, because I could only, and they would ask questions. The customer would ask this, and they'd ask me, and as long as they ask it inside of there and I could answer it in there, it just continued building that knowledge base.
Yeah. Let's talk about sales. So we haven't got here yet, but where in sales, the sales process, and this isn't just specific to the industry that we're in, but where in the sales process does artificial intelligence really enhance and drive work? So what we are building right now, and we're very close to launching. Actually, we just launched, I think it was last week, because it was after months of testing, Dora, even though I really don't like that name, but Dora is now live on the CDF website. So
that's right. It was, last week.
This is a customer-facing portion of our knowledge base, where a customer can basically ask door frame and hardware questions, get instant answers, just like if you were talking to someone who'd been in the business for 40 or 50 years.
Yeah, asking the live agent, and it
Yep.
answers everything. It can do it through a chat, or even is it just
Yep,
a chat?
it's
At
just
this point?
chat right now. But we are also working on the conversational tool.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to talk to. We should use my voice.
Is that what? Yeah.
No, I don't know what it is. But you'll be able to. You can talk, chat. I'm a big believer in you got to meet the customer where they are. If a customer wants to interact with your business, this is another takeaway. If a customer wants to interact with your business via email, you need to meet that customer in email. If they want to call you, you need to meet that customer, on the telephone. If they want to chat live, then you need to meet that customer. If they want to self-serve, they don't want to have to push buttons and and talk to somebody. If they want to self-serve, then you need to have a website that meets the customer where they're at, where they can self-serve. And that's what I feel like we've also done a really good job at is because we have an industry where we do have some younger folks that want to self-serve. They want to do it their self. In fact, over 15% of our sales in our industry are untouched by a human being, because there's people out there, they just want to get their quote, they want to make their purchase, they want to order their doors and get it shipped, right?
And they know exactly what they want.
And they know exactly what they want. And our system is built so that you can't make a mistake.
Right.
You can't order something that won't work together. And that's one of the powerful tools about the rule set that we've built. But then other customers, they want to call and they want somebody to do the quoting for them. Well, you got to meet those people where they're at too, right?
Yep.
I don't even know how I got sidetracked on that, but
That's exactly what you said, though. You got to have all those multiple avenues, and you got to know what they are, and you can't just serve certain ones on that. Especially with what we do, we've got to be able to have all those, and that's another reason why it's important to have people on the other side of the phone to be able to talk to the customer and make sure that they've got it right. And in the future, I know AI can help do that as well. They're getting better at those kind of things too. But for us, having a live agent and someone that's going to answer the phone, that's going to talk to that customer that maybe they've gotten a quote, or maybe they need to revise it. Because we're calling them back and revising it and asking questions. Those are important to have.
There's so much I want to talk about that because those things are built, and I don't want to let it out just yet on this podcast, but we'll unveil that soon. But we can do that now, fully automated, revise, build quotes.
Yeah,
our internal teams don't even know that yet.
Yeah,
because we haven't put it into to staging to test. But okay, before I talk about AI in sales, because I think that if you're going to start. The easiest thing to do is let's take the shackles off of the salespeople, right?
right.
Once you do that, you got to keep the back of the house moving forward too, because otherwise the place falls apart, right? You got to have accounting and purchasing and order quality and manufacturing, all that kind of stuff supported.
We can't be top heavy, right? You can't be the bobblehead.
But if you're going to do one thing to kind of loose your business right now, it's let's start delivering some automated or some AI tools to our sales agents. Okay. So this is one thing that we're building, and we're neck deep in it, and hopefully we'll start testing here in the next few weeks. But that is having an AI agent. We'll just call it an AI agent. Having an AI agent assisting the salesperson, listening to the calls or to the chat or to the email, and then prompting the agent on what to say. Recommendations on how to close the sale, answers to the questions that the customer might have. So if a customer says, "Hey, I need a fire-rated door, but I really want this size light kit or this louver or whatever," right? Well, an agent, if they haven't worked here, for 20 years, won't know necessarily what combinations won't work based on the fire rating that you have to have for your building.
Right.
The AI tool steps in and prompts the agent on the screen, here's the answer, here are the configurations that the customer can have, say this, and then move to close or something like that. Those tools, listen, people, those tools are already out there. And unless you're us in our industry, your competitors are already doing that. They're just not saying it or telling you. The tools are already out there. They're already being adopted. And you are way behind.
Right.
Period.
Yeah. And it's one of those two at this point in the game, if you start now, are you behind? Yeah, you are. But at the same time, you're ahead of 90% of the other people out there at this point. So it's never too late to start anything. So, jump in it just to get to learning it and knowing it, because you got to. It's coming whether we want it or not, whether we like it or not, and it makes a difference. We've learned that already. Some of the tools that we are doing, it speeds the process up. It just makes it an overall better system, and you can get so much more accomplished by the punch of a button that we never thought possible a few years ago.
And I'll say this too. What I wrote down, because I didn't want to forget it, is foundation and data. Artificial intelligence is only as good as the data that you put into it.
That's right.
The output is only as good as the input, particularly for the way that we are leveraging it today, the way we're using it. If you don't have compliance and data governance and strict moderating of the information that goes into it, you're going to get bad information out of it, and that's going to cause you lots of issues. So data is important. The other thing that's really important is the technology, the foundation, the systems that you're built on. So if you look at the system that we were using, or the systems that we were using not even a year ago, there was no possible way that we could layer in any type of automation, artificial intelligence, because quite frankly, the foundation was kind of garbage, right?
Right.
There was no way that you could add AI type tools to a platform like what we had. Well, when we upgraded our platforms, and now I feel like we've got like Ferrari type platforms.
Right.
All of those platforms already have artificial intelligence and these workflows that are built around automation and efficiency in these newer technology platforms. Now all we have to do is add the data and the governance and the oversight to the system, and you unlock a whole new world. So the foundation that you are building, your AI, the foundation that you're building on is really, really critical. And if you're not making investments in the technology foundation for your business, that's probably failure point number one.
Mm-hmm. That's super important too. I mean, you hit it nail on the head. You got to have that right foundation, and not every business is going to be the same. So what works for us may not work for your business. So it's trying to take what somebody else has done and trying to do what it is, you still have to implement it into what you do and how you do it. And so, it's super critical, is to build out as much as you can based off the type of business that you have, and it can be door businesses, to be honest with you. When you look at how we go to market versus a traditional brick and mortar company, they just don't align, because we do things so much differently than a lot of other companies do. It's just a different scenario all the way around.
Yeah. Like a couple of examples. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings here, but if you're using the free version of HubSpot, or if you're using like the free version of a CRM to kind of run your business, you're going to get crushed.
Yeah.
If your website, nothing against WordPress, but if your website, if your infrastructure, if your e-commerce platform is built on a WordPress website, you are going to get crushed. Because there are other e-commerce platforms out there that are so much more advanced. And the AI tools, the technology tools are already built into the infrastructure of those systems. You don't have to recreate the wheel and build add-ons and try to bolt on add-ons that really were never designed to work with those systems. So what I'm seeing is I'm trying to bail out our competitors over here. What I'm seeing is I am seeing people either copying us or copying what has worked in the past, not realizing that those systems are not scalable for the future, and you spent your money in the wrong spot.
Right.
And you need to change and pivot now, because otherwise 3 years, 4 years, 5 years from now, you won't just be behind, you'll be either gobbled up, bought out, bankrupt, or out of business.
Yeah.
That's how fast technology is moving.
Yeah. So it's, technology, and what we've always looked at it in our system, in our business, it's in a sense a living organism, because if you don't continue feeding it, if you don't continue investing in it, it's gonna stop and pass you up. And so you got to continually invest in it. You got to continually build on it. You got to continually build around it. Super important. But you got to get the right systems. I mean, there's a ton of systems out there, like you said, that have AI already built in it.
Mm-hmm.
These technology companies, they're already investing heavily in it. All you got to do is just find the right one and find the right partner that can help you get to the right place and build it in the right way, and build the things that you needed to do for you and for your organization. And some of them work great for your type of organization, and some of them don't. It just depends on what you choose and how you choose it. So choose wisely.
Yeah. The other thing I'll say about that when you say choose wisely is there. I don't care what somebody says on a LinkedIn video or on the TikTok or whatever. I don't feel like there is any such thing as there's no AI experts out there. You want to know why? Because we've all been doing this for about 3 years. There's nobody out there who's been doing AI for 50 years, 20 years, 30 years. If you think about how long it takes to become an expert in an industry or whatever. So there's people that are saying like, I'll transform your business. I can build all these things. And all of them have only been doing it for, go look at their LinkedIn profiles. They've been doing what they're telling you they're an expert at for about a year or for 2 years. So all I want to say is you really need to be careful as a leader, as an owner in the individual or the business that maybe you choose to partner with to help you on this journey, because they're all telling you that they're an expert, but this is new to everyone. Yeah. It's every day it's something new.
Yeah. Now they've been investing a lot in it over the years, but now that it's here, it's people are jumping on board and claiming to be this and claiming to be that. So just be careful when you do choose. I mean, there are some partners out there that know what they're doing. I mean, because they've been around it and they're just smart enough to get it and to grasp it, and they can code it and do that. Well, that means a lot when you can do that. So
yeah. So and I probably should have been more clear because you said it. You're not for this type of transformation and integration of artificial intelligence type systems. You're not looking for experience. You are looking, because there isn't a lot out there. You are looking for people who, number one, they match your core values, but number two, they are smart, they're flexible, they're curious, they're willing to change, they try different things, they fail fast, they don't get stuck on one answer or one resolution and don't look at other potential avenues to solve problems. There are a lot of times, intangible characteristics or qualities about a partner or about a company that you need to evaluate, whereas you may not have looked at that company. You're looking at how much do they cost and how many major clients or projects have they done. You can't look at it like that when you're trying to integrate a technology like this. You have to look at some of those intangible characteristics that I just talked about, and that is a key pivot when you're onboarding a partner.
Yeah.
We never looked at it like that before.
Right.
You know, but that's how we decided really first to onboard Hero. It's because when Joe and others came in and we're up on the whiteboard and we're talking about how we solve this problem of doing what nobody else has been able to do and figure out a new way to do it, they were so open to trying different things and asking questions and probing and trying this and why won't that work? That's the kind of partner that you need.
Yeah. Yeah, one that's going to invest with you and that's going to grow along with you, because they're learning at the same time. They just have a little bit more advancement and a little more tools than what you have, but and they've built the team around them that can help you grow. So
yeah,
and it's all about having a good team.
You said it. A lot of times in these scenarios, the individual or whoever you're partnering with to kind of walk in this journey. Hopefully, you're not just walking it by yourself, but whoever you're partnering with. A lot of times, you said it. You're learning together.
Yeah.
Because everything is still so new. So the other thing I wanted to mention is no longer is technology the differentiator between who fails and who doesn't fail. Because whether you're a company in our industry and you're still using a fax machine and Excel sheets to do all your work, whatever the case is, you got the old the rotary phone. Everybody has access to technology now. Everybody has access to these AI tools. Everyone, let this sink in for a second. Everyone is a coder now. Everyone can code. If you've got Claude or Copilot or whatever, everyone can code. For example, Austin, God bless him, built two programs, two applications by using prompts, coded new applications, basically inventions.
Can't tell them what it is, though.
No, I'm not.
All right.
Because I won't. Inventions that no other company has, no one else has done online. And he coded all of this stuff, and the dude has never coded a day in his life.
Yeah.
So my point in saying all that is everyone has technology. You're not special because because you've hired coders or because you know coding or you partner with the technology is leveling the playing field. The two things that will make the biggest difference is how fast you can execute and integrate your business around AI, not integrating AI into your business, but you need to build your processes and your workflows around AI. That's number one. And then number two is, what are you building on top of? What is the technology foundation and the data foundation that you are building on? Because if you're building on the free version of the CRM, like I just mentioned, you're going to fail. You have to have the right foundation and the right data structure in order to start building the tools on top of that in order for you to be successful. But outside of that, it's a free-for-all. And it's not, we've said this before, it's no longer does big eat small, fast eats slow.
Yeah.
And if you're moving slow, doesn't matter how big you are, you're going to get gobbled up by the fast movers who are adopting and learning faster than you are.
Yeah. There's a lot of big companies out there. There's a lot of big companies in our industry. And I've always looked at it, even on the e-commerce, not even the AI part of it, you don't tell how big you are when you're, searching on Google. When people are looking for you,
right.
they're not saying, oh, well, this is $1 billion company. This is, $50 million. I'm going to go with the big one. Well, nobody says that. So it depends on how fast you are, how good of a product that you represent when people are looking it up. That's what they're going for. They're not going with, oh, well, this is the big guy over here, I'm going to go with them. Or, the little guy can't get it done for me.
Dude.
No, not at all.
Great example. So real life scenario. What I like to do occasionally is I like to go incognito online because, if you're not careful, then your Google or whatever you're using knows who you are and kind of knows your user intentions, and it starts catering answers based on what it knows about you. So, I'll go incognito and I'll hit ChatGPT and I'll ask questions because I want to see how is our business reflected in some of those AEO, GEO type. I'm supposed to call it SEO 2.0 because Jim and I hate AEO, GEO, SEO, so we just call it SEO 2.0. But we like to see how our business comes up. What are those tools? What's ChatGPT saying about us, right?
Yeah.
So to your point, I'm asking this question about I won't say the industry, but it's one that we're in. And one of these businesses comes up before ours. So I start, and it looks great. And ChatGPT is just talking about how great it is, how good they are, all this, right? It's not in the door business though. We'll say that. So I go to their website and I'm like, dude, who is? I had never even heard of them before. It's a new competitor in the space. I'd never heard of them. But if you listen to ChatGPT, you'd have thought that these guys hung the moon, right? So I go to their website. Dude, they've been open like 8 months. It's a guy, not that this is bad. It's a husband and wife that just started the business. They're running it out of their house. They have like their cousin, because I Facebook stalk. They have like their cousin doing like operations, purchasing or whatever, finance or something like that. It's literally 3 people that just started the business. But because they know SEO, they know SEO 2.0, all the,
Yeah.
the AEO Geo stuff. They know how to build a website. They know the keywords. They're competing with us. But if you buy from them, you're probably going to get crushed, right? But to your point, when you go on their website or when you ask Chat or Copilot about, hey, where should I buy from? They pop up. And they're brand new and they don't know what we do from a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
But they know how to compete in the online technology world. Yeah. So that's why I said
that's going to be such a big deal too.
Dude, that's why I said it's not big eats small. It's fast eats slow. You got those people that are out there. Right. They know the deal. They're spinning up websites and they're gonna compete if we and you aren't listening, if you don't get going.
Right. Yeah.
I'm still mad about that, by the way. But all right, what can AI not do? All right. So we have a tendency to overhype AI a little bit, and we're like second from the bottom. What AI can't do? We do overhype AI about all the things it can do and how great it is and all that kind of stuff. But some things that AI can't do, dude, AI can't build culture.
Not at all. Not even close, right?
Our core values, our core focus,
right?
That will always be human beings loving each other, treating each other right. AI cannot build culture.
Not even close. Can't build trust, right? Which is
right.
part of it. Yeah, part of the core value kind of thing. So, Those are excellent things that it can't build.
Yeah.
So,
What else AI can't do? AI can't show courage. So when you got tough decisions to make, when you got to make the decision, do I want to sign for that new building and take the risk? AI can't do that for you.
right.
AI can't take risk. AI can't show courage. That takes human beings, leaders, making good decisions.
Yeah.
What else? What else can AI not do?
You tell me.
Own outcomes.
True.
So
That's true. It's going to give you the variations that, hey, here's your choices,
Yep.
but it can't make the choice for you, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to care which way you go. So the care part of it is whether you can need to go this way. Well, fine. Here's what your likely outcome could be. Well, I want to choose this. Okay. Well, then here's what I think it could be.
Yep.
Because it's just giving you scenarios based off of what the decision might be. Now it may kind of lead you and say, "Oh, that's a great choice. That's a great decision." Now that you're thinking of it this way, here's what I would do.
You sound like my co-pilot.
That's exactly what it does, though, right?
Yeah.
It kind of gives you a little bit of a personal flavor, personal touch, based off of it getting to know you over a period of time, the way you ask questions. But it's only as good as what you ask.
Yeah. Like, you don't hit your sales numbers. AI is not owning that.
No,
You're,
well, that's not my fault.
who owns the P&L outcome at the end of the month?
AI,
You're going to hold AI accountable for that too?
it's your fault.
Yeah. So outcomes, ownership of outcomes will always be owned by people. Culture, leadership can be owned by people. AI can't care. You can program it to try and care, right? But at the end of the day, AI doesn't care about people. Those are things that AI absolutely 100% cannot do. And those are some other differentiators that we probably could keep talking about for another hour, that why the human is so important in this model is because at the end of the day, it's humans doing business with humans. It's humans working for humans.
Yeah.
And we are the only ones that can show courage, care about people, love people, build culture, all of that. That's something that AI can't do. And if you're a leader listening to this, I would challenge you, you've really got to step up your game in those areas, because that will be another big differentiator.
It will be
you.
all the way around. And they may claim that they can, and they may claim that they can build the robotics and all that kind of stuff that have that care. I mean, what is it, iRobot, the movie with Will Smith? But
Yeah,
end of the day, it's still the human side that we carry, that we'll always carry.
absolutely. So this, artificial intelligence isn't something that people need to be scared of. But let me challenge you with a question. So Wayne, put yourself in you're listening to this. You're a leader. You're an owner. You're a visionary in your business, and you're listening to this. And you're like, dang, they're describing me. I use Copilot a couple times a day, but we really don't. We don't use AI in our business. We're just sort of like we're operating today the same way that we operated 5 years ago, 10 years ago. If you were that person listening to this, where would you start? Kind of what would you start to do to start moving forward, with some of these tools? What would you do? What would you recommend to them?
Well, first thing is just start being curious, right? Start thinking of what's out there. Start looking at maybe some of your competitors and see what they're doing and see how they're doing it. And then just start asking good questions, asking the right questions. But if you don't know where to start, then you got to have someone that's going to help you to figure out where to start. But if you don't know where to start, you're going to have to dig in, find the right type of companies, and you got to be very careful how you select the companies as well, because there's a lot of companies that do pop up. You got to research the companies that you're going to look at pretty strong. Make sure that they've been around for a little bit longer. They know it. They're going to have ratings. Your stars and all that kind of stuff. So because you got to see how other people feel about the relationships and the work that you're doing. So you just got to be curious, and you got to dig in and do some homework more than anything. And then just start finding the right people that can help you make the change that you need to make. And you got to ask yourself, if I don't implement this, is that okay? Or what is this industry? What could it look like in 5 years? Hey, and also look at your industry. If no one's adapted it, you're in a great place, because you can be the first one doing it, right?
First mover.
The first mover. Being the first mover can mean a lot. And don't worry about, where we've always been. We've always been a first mover for the past 15 years because of the things that we've done, that we haven't been able to go out there and say, hey, look what they're doing, and let's copy that and just keep doing and keep building off that. We've always been the first mover, And so what we've always known and seen as our competitors, they just follow what we do. They watch what we do. They, and so, are you the one that's going to have the ingenuity to it and that's going to be able to build and have the foresight and that vision to build it and grow something big and special? Or are you going to be the guy that's going to sit back and, well, I'm going to let them build it and then we'll just copy what they do?
I love what you said to summarize, because I think it was good. You said advice to those that are listening that lead a business is, number one, you got to get curious.
Yeah.
What's out there? What could work? What's possible? What if our industry changed over the next 5 years? What would it change to? How could we get left behind? If I wanted to try something, what would I try? Get curious, ask questions. And the next thing you mentioned is find somebody to partner with. And I think that's a trap that we as leaders fall into, is we sit in the office and we try to figure it out ourselves.
Right.
And this is one of those times where most of the time advice is free. This is one of those times where schedule 5 calls with 5 different companies that advertise that this is what they do, and hop on a call and talk to them for 30 minutes. Just having those conversations is going to open up windows of possibilities for what you could do in your business, and you will learn so much. But before you even have to hire a consultant or hire someone, schedule those calls and tell them about your business, tell them about where your friction points are, and just let them tell you what's possible. That is powerful right there. So those are probably 2 big takeaways for anybody listening. You do those 2 things, and a week from now, you're probably going to have a boatload of ideas and things that you could try in your business.
Here's something that to kind of almost finish with a little bit. I would say, if some of the younger people may not remember this, Quentin, you may not remember this, but before GPS, everybody had a map, and some people asked for directions, and some people didn't. They just figured it out. Sometimes you make a mistake when you had to figure it out, and sometimes people don't want to ask for directions because they think, "Oh, I can do this." Mm-hmm. And then the next thing you know, you're 2 hours away from the direction you're supposed to be, and now you're 4 to 5 hours away from where you need to be. And so if you just ask, right? Sometimes you got to stop and ask for directions.
Yeah,
ask for help.
And there's lots of places out there to get that.
Yeah.
To get that help. All right, stop asking whether AI matters. I think we've established at this point that
it does.
AI is not going anywhere, and you can be mad about it all you want. If you're one of those folks that wants to storm out of conferences and protest against AI, hey, you had your opportunity.
Yeah.
Now here we are. So you've got to embrace it. So stop asking if AI matters. Stop asking if this is going to stick. It's stuck. And start asking, where is your team wasting human talent on things that a machine can do or a machine can help with? We were a company where we had 3 people doing one job. We are quickly moving to a company where 1 person can do 3 jobs.
Yeah,
and
100%.
that just means we're getting more efficient, and we're going to keep hiring, and we're going to keep growing because we want to embrace these things. And I don't believe in scarcity. I think all of our competitors, every industry, we can all grow. There's more than enough business for all of us out there. I think that's probably why we so liberally share some of this stuff. There's more than enough business for all of us to be successful and kind of talk about, helping each other along the way type deal. So that's really it. AI is here to stay. First movers, especially in slow industries like ours, you can really have a premier advantage. And if you're a business that's just starting, you can compete with the quote unquote big guys, because fast eats slow, baby. And if you really understand artificial intelligence, if you understand technology and how to leverage that in your business, then you can compete with the folks that have been in business for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, because we're already seeing it. So any last words before we wrap it up?
No, just again, the phrase I would say is be curious, right? Just get out there and start doing it. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And the sooner you start, the better you're going to be.
That's right. Be curious. Don't fight it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you enjoyed that little chat there. We are always open for discussion, interaction. If you want to chat with us on LinkedIn, Quentin's pointing me this camera. If you want to chat, with us, if you want to text, engage with us. We love having these types of conversations. But nonetheless, feel free to share, subscribe, all the things, and we cannot wait to talk to you on the next episode. Thanks for listening or watching.
Yeah.
See you.
Take care. a lot of companies in our industry, they have websites, but it's an informative website, not a transformative website. And
If
so
someone listening to that,
right,
that's a life-changing statement right there.
it is.